I am excited to be on here today. It was supposed to be more of an interview style, but Jamie is a little under the weather after some things that she had taken care of, and we're going to miss her today. But I'm excited to be on here, really talking about something a little different today, more about setting up yourself each day for success, daily habits, routines, just some things that I've implemented in my life that have helped me a ton. On top of it, we're in the middle of this Corona thing. And I posted on Facebook on my personal page yesterday, and I said, how is everybody doing? A, are you struggling? B, are you surviving? Or C, are you thriving? And it was like the first 6 comments were like, A, I'm struggling. And I get it. I know there are circumstances that cause us to struggle, but I believe it's a choice whether or not we stay there. I've seen this whole thing, and I'm trying to picture it as a wildfire. There is chaos during wildfires. There is like fear during wildfires. There are things that feel out of our control during a wildfire, but we get to choose how we respond to it. The beautiful thing about wildfires is what it does. It kind of like clears out the weeds and the brush and the stuff that is not allowing the sun to get to, and it creates this nutrients for the soil so that once it's cleared, there is room for new growth. So I am excited to be on the other side of this and to really see the growth that comes from it. Sorry, I was just checking on making sure the audio was good. Hey, Gustavo, good to see you. Hey, Shannon, good to see you as well. If you click that link that I posted just a couple minutes ago, it allows to show like who you are. So when I post it here, I'm using Be Live. It'll show kind of who you are, but either way, I can do that, and that's from Shannon. Hey, Shannon, good to see you. So this wildfire is we're in the middle of it. You know, I'm also personally I'm picturing this as like a storm that we're in, and I wear these necklaces every day. They're from like Marine Time. This one says, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor." The seas are not smooth. So we can hide and go under deck, or we can get up and we can sweat a bit, and we can help manage where this ship ultimately is going. So I wanted to share with you, there's days during this time that I struggle. There's no doubt about that. There's days during this time that I'm surviving. But there is days in here, more than not, that I am thriving. I have a ton of work, like more work than before to do. Now, financially, we will be impacted by this. But it doesn't mean that we can't like hunker down and be smart about how we're going to respond to it and still thrive during that. Because I believe that there are 3 ways that we can measure ourselves. And right now, I feel like the screens that we're looking at are telling us feel this way, right? Some of us are looking to the screen and saying, how am I supposed to feel today? And when it comes down to it, I believe, sure, I think we should be aware of the news. We should be aware of what's going on out there, but we get to choose who we're going to be today. So that's really what I want to encourage you with. And I want to give you some tools that help with that as well. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Melissa. Thank you again, Shannon. I appreciate you being on here. Feel free to post questions as I go through this. Some of the tools didn't work right out of the gate. And so I was chatting with Evolve, who posted those, you know, when you signed up for this. If you check your email again, one of the 2 tools is in there, and I'll make sure that you get that second one as well. But when I started thinking about this, sharing more about like health and mindset and self-care and self-love and things like that, it is something that I do regularly. I educate typically on albums. I am the owner, co-founder, CEO, yada yada, of Kiss Books, and I typically educate on how to serve all your clients with albums. I'll be on here next week doing that, how to show up for your clients in the past. But I regularly am trying to become a better version of me each day. So becoming, you'll see on some of the tools in the corner, it says becoming, BKMING. That's the URL that was available. It'll be fun to make a brand for that later and stuff like that. But I started to build out tools so I can share, especially during this time. So who are you becoming today? Are you becoming a better version of yourself? Do you have a vision? Do you have a target that you're heading towards? And are the decisions that you're making taking you towards that target, towards that vision, or away from it? You know, so I'm going to break it down a bit. The first one I'm going to go over. Hey, Nathan, good to see you on here. The first tool that I'm going to go over is the one that didn't pop up. It is called 5 and 5. I created this myself. I've taken it from a lot of different books and things that I read, and I just create my own tools around it and what works for me. And I would love to see you do that for yourself. You know, whatever I say, make it yours and make it work for you. Last year, I read a book called The 5 a.m. Club. I avoided it for like 6 months because the title alone, it's called The 5 a.m. Club. I'm like, there's not many clubs that I'd want to be involved in that start at 5 a.m., right? There's some things I would get up for at 5 a.m., but to keep it clean, I will keep it clean. So the 5 a.m. club, I was like, I'm not reading that. I don't want to get up any earlier than I already have to. I get up at the time I was getting up at like 6:30, 6:45 with my son, but I read it and I made it work for me. I do not get up at 5 a.m. I get up at 5:30. And I have a complete hour before my son gets up with a 15-minute window of margin. Now, during this time, I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. because life is different, right? I don't need to get up at 5 a.m. I'm working a little bit later so I can do some Pacific Coast education and stuff like that. I'm on Eastern time. And so I'm staying up later. I want to spend time with my wife. My kids are staying up later because they're on spring break actually right now. And we are doing a lot of things with the kids when they're in school and stuff like that. So I just shifted it to make it work for me right now. I am committed to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. I'm committed to, I'll go through some of the things that I'm committed to from these tools, but I'm committed to working out at least 30 minutes a day. I'm still committed to the 20-20-20. So I'm going to jump over into those things. Yeah. Hey, Anna, good to see you on here. The 5 a.m. club at the San Francisco conference from Evolve. Yeah, by that point I had read it. Yeah, the stay-at-home order. I'm the same way. I'm going to post this. I was kicking ass at the 5 a.m. club until this stay-at-home order was put in place. Got to find my new normal so I can be back. Let me see. Got to find my new normal so I can be back into my mindset. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm going to just share some things with you. Anna and Candace, I'm going to share things with you today to get us back to what normal is for this season. And it's not going to be what's going to be normal on the other side of this. Things are changing and we freak out with change. Humans in general, we do not love change, but we can learn to respond. And I believe we can learn to thrive. So let me jump into the 5 in 5. The 5 in 5 just means these are 5 things that I do 5 out of 7 days. Now, the first one being sleep. I try and do 7 days a week. So there's sleep, morning routine, move, to be, and gratitude. So those are the 5 things. The first one is sleep. Sleep, I try and commit to 7 to 8 hours a night of sleep. Now, I know what's going on the next day. I try and make sure that I know when that first meeting is. When the kids are in school, it's like what time I get up when I travel a ton when that was a thing. And but when I'm home, I love seeing them in the mornings before they go to school. So I make them breakfast, but I have 1 in elementary, 2 in high school. So I make 2 sets of breakfast and then I see my wife for a bit and then I get to that first meeting. Right now, things are different. I still want to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And then the morning routine starts. Morning routine for me still is a thing. Now, I'm not as diligent about it. I take weekends off. I still like to write out part of it on good days, even for the weekend. But the morning routine is broken down. This is from the 5 a.m. club. It's broken down into 20, 20, and 20. So it's an hour long, but it's three 20-minute segments. The first 20 minutes is called sweat. The second is reflect. And the third is to learn. So first thing I do is I get up. I've literally put my bike, my Peloton, in my bedroom so that I have one less excuse than having to go down to my basement to get on this thing. When the weather's nice, my wife and I will go out, we'll walk, and then run back so that we get a sweat on. This is not my workout. 20 minutes on the Peloton sometimes feels like a workout. Lately, I've been doing 30 minutes because I meet up with a friend. We do a class together, and we really build each other up. I was hoping there'd be a little more trash talk. I'm going to try and get more people on there. I think it'll turn into like some competitiveness and trash talk. But no matter what, 20 minutes of sweating. There is the fear hormone, whatever it's called. Somebody remind me of what it is at the highest in the morning. And so sweating or moving your body lowers, it's cortisol? I can't remember. It lowers it to where it's still there. The fear hormone is still there, but it lowers it so that I can show up on who I want to become that day. That is why I've labeled all these cortisol. There we go. And the first 20 minutes of the day is made to sweat. So I literally have my shoes out. The night before, I put a pair of shorts on the seat. I put a towel on the handlebars. I put my Bluetooth headphones right there on there as well. And I get up, change into those shorts and put my shoes on, and I get on that bike and I start going. Like I actually use, is it Mel Robbins' 5-second rule? A lot of mornings, like I don't want to get up. I just want to lay here, maybe cuddle with my wife, maybe like go grab coffee. Putting coffee at the end of this is like actually a little gift. It's from a different book. But so I get up and I sweat for 20 minutes. I am like drenched when I use the Peloton. It's amazing. And my username is Shaun, Chon. It's a nickname that I have, 1977. So check me out there. Let's do some rides together. The second 20 minutes is to reflect. Now, to reflect is like I journal, I meditate, I pray. I will listen to some type of like guided meditation sometimes. It is just like I'm just reflecting on the day. Now, the other tool is called the To Be Daily tool that I sent over as well. I'll show you it in just a minute. I fill in the to be section of that. And so I'll get to that because it's one of the main things on this 5 and 5. So I reflect for 20 minutes and then I learn for 20 minutes. Now, this learning is typically like business mastery that I'm in, or some type of thing that's just going to get the juices flowing. And I listen to a lot of YouTube things. If I'm in a business mastery, I'm in actually Robin Sharma's Business Mastery, really good short videos that I just listen to, and I listen to them for 20 minutes at a time. It just gets things going. Then typically something is happening right after that. Now, during this time, sometimes there's something happening right after it, like a meeting. Sometimes there's not. Usually it's my kids are waking up and I make them breakfast, but I shift it to make it work for me. So sleep, morning routine. The third one is move. At least 30 minutes a day. I do not count that original 20 minutes on the Peloton. It is an amazing workout. It's 20 minutes though. It's not that big of a deal to me. So I do a full workout, 30 minutes. Sometimes it's 60 minutes. I've had this gift of being able to work out with my son since he's at home, and he's way into working out. It's fun seeing him get stronger, and I'm still trying to flex on him a little bit and show him that how strong I am. It's keeping me motivated, but I want to be here now. Like, here's a little insight to this, like moving for 30 days. Again, it's just to get you moving. I sit here a lot and I do these lives. I do have the stand thing still on in my watch, and it tells me, hey, it's been a while. You've been sitting down for a while. Why don't you stand up? I keep that on. It was annoying at first. I turned it off. I turned it back on just as a reminder, like I need to move, but I want to move at least 30 minutes a day. I have my activity in my watch set to 1,000 calories a day. That's of moving, like burning 1,000 calories during a workout. I get into challenges and stuff like that with people. Hit me up if you want to as well, but I'll win. That's just what I do. Just kidding. That's where the talking trash comes in. But I want to encourage you to move for 30 minutes a day. That could be going out for a walk. It could be like throwing on YouTube. There's so many good YouTube. MadFit is this gal that does these like short one song workouts that are like abs. Those crush me like crazy. There's so many resources out there. Move your body for 30 minutes. To be is the fourth one on the 5 and 5. To be is something that was introduced to me from my wife. She is a transformational coach, and she is the type of person, let me know if you can relate. She is, if she has her to-do list, and she typically writes a really long to-do list. If she gets everything done on the to-do list at dinner that night, great. If she doesn't, a lot of times that was kind of telling her that she wasn't accomplished. She wasn't enough in her mind. This is before she was aware of it. She was like sometimes a little bit what I would call pissy at night at dinner. And it was like, I wonder, I wasn't aware of it. I was just like, okay, this is a thing. But what she started to recognize as she was like helping transform and coach her clients was, it was more about who they were becoming, who they wanted to be, rather than the things that they wanted to do. Even what we do for a living sometimes becomes our identity, but for me, it's more about who I want to be. That trumps who the things I want to do, or the things that I think make me, like my job or things like that. This is a good little thing. They do have a free 90-day trial. That is for the app, and they have meditation on there. They have so many great resources on there. Thanks for sharing that. That is in the comments. Back to the to be. So I actually write out. I have that other form here that you'll be able to download once we get it figured out on the Evolve. But it looks like this. It is just a sheet, and this section right here is to be. So to me, to be, to do. This is gratitude, and this section right here is my daily mantra. So my today's mantra is, I am becoming stronger, known, and connected. To be today, I'm going to be known. I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to be a father, a husband, and I'm going to be connected. So that to be list trumps everything else. On my to-do list, I have my mastermind. I'm picking people that are going to be in this mastermind that I'm doing for albums. The Peloton 30-minute workout. I'm going to cuddle with my son Gavin. The rower. I had to go pick up a rower today. I'm just adding to my gym. 50 push-ups. I have a bunch of stuff on my to-do list, and that's okay. As I cross those out, it feels good. But if to be known, if my to-do list keeps me away from being known today, and I wasn't able to show up and do this because my to-do list is too long, then I'm not moving towards that vision of to be known. My first 90-day vision was to be known. I'm working on my second 90 days right now, even though we're a couple days into the second quarter. And then on the bottom, I just have gratitude. I'm grateful for Zoom. I'm grateful for my wife, Jamie, for tennis, even though I'm not playing right now. For Noah, Haley, Gavin, those are my kids, and for the Peloton. That's what I'm grateful for. So it's just good to have something like this as kind of our daily routine. So that to be list is in there, and so is gratitude. Gratitude is the fifth thing on here. Gratitude is write out three things, at least three things that you are grateful for each day. So I would love to just hear some questions. What, maybe on a scale of, well, A, are you struggling? And I know that's a lot to ask to let me know that you're struggling. But if you would be willing to jump in and be known with me, are you struggling? Are you surviving? Or are you thriving? If you could comment on that, I know it is a lot to ask. I'm not going to shame you for struggling. and call me out if I do. I'm not going to shame you for just surviving, and I'm not going to even like praise you for thriving. I just want you to jump in and be known with me. There's just 11 of you on here right now, but where are you at? Are you struggling today? Are you surviving, or are you thriving? Let me know. Another thing you could let me know is, like, of these things, is there something you'd be willing to commit to? Would you be committed to a morning routine? And what would that look like? Committing to means you're declaring something. I'm in a mastermind right now, and my friend Dane Sanders is putting on. Is so good. Check out tellmeyourdreams.com. So good. The way that he is just guiding us for free. It's free for the next 6.5 weeks, but it's a really cool group that I've been a part of. A couple of things from there. He was saying, like, we don't have to. I have to homeschool my kids. I have to, reply to emails. Instead, replace that with get to. So what could you commit to with me as well? Thank you for commenting. I go in waves. I'm struggling for days, and then I feel like I have a burst of energy and feeling okay. Right now, I'm struggling. It's okay to struggle. It's wonderful to be aware of struggling. What's great about, like, friendships and coaches and, like, I have mentors and friends in my life. Sometimes what I need is to be heard. Sometimes what I need is feedback. Sometimes I need people to get into the struggle with me, just like get down into the hole with me and be there with me. So I totally feel you, sister. And I remember when we got to hang out in Greece and stuff like that. Those were wonderful times to, like, remember back on. But, like, it is okay that today you are struggling. I want you to know that it's okay. I want you to also know that you're still enough. I want you to know that you have what it takes to get out of this at the right time, right? We don't want to be stuck in struggling. Depression's a real thing. Imposter syndrome's a real thing. Today's the day they find out that I'm not enough, right? So it's okay to struggle. Be aware of it. Let us know when you're ready to be encouraged out of it, because we need you. There are people in your life that I will never be able to get to that need you to show up. And at the right time, you'll recognize the struggle and why it's there, and you get to choose to move. So I just want to let you know that I hear you and I see you. I'm sorry that you're struggling. It makes total sense with all the craziness that's going on in the world to struggle. If it's fear, recognize the fear and know where it's coming from. Let it sit in the car, but get to a point where it doesn't drive. It doesn't it doesn't get to respond for you. You're aware of it. It's in the car, but you still get to drive. I appreciate it. Struggling to stay motivated, especially with 3 young kids at home. I have 3 kids at home as well. One of them is 10. I have 2 teenagers. They are a gift most of the time, right? And they're always a gift, but sometimes it feels like it's hard to stay focused with them. I got one, like, literally right out they're sitting out on the roof today because it's spring break and it is what it is. They're being safe, don't worry. But I totally get it. Like, it's different, right? I work from home when I'm home. I miss being on the road, but I also have these kids running around here. I usually have this office. My wife has an office downstairs. And I love having them home, but there's times where it's like, hey guys, I got to get some work done. So I have a little light that I turn on and they have to stay out. But little ones, it's a totally different ballgame, right? So I hear you, I see you. I can totally understand that. Yeah, you're welcome, Shannon. I appreciate you, and I totally see you. Yeah, let me just post this one. This is a great one. Yeah, bud. Yeah, I'm on a live right now. Oh, sorry. You're good. Yes, we need you to show up as you. That is what we need. That's why I'm going to brand this at some point and do some things with it. I'm working on making sure Kiss is like in a good spot on the other side of this and through this and trying to lead well. But I have this heart for this type of stuff. We do need you to be the best version of you. And there are people in your lives that need you to show up. You have a purpose and a calling. And I believe that is just like, I had started to allude to this and then I never finished it. But there are 3 ways that we measure ourselves: financially, purpose, why you exist, and how you exist. The one is easy: financial. How much money do I have in the bank? It's easy because you can measure it. And then why you exist, your purpose, is sometimes hard to see. Bring in people in your life. Just text somebody right now and say like, who am I to you? If I lost access to move, to use my arms and legs and everything, all I had was my mind and my words. What is the gift of me? So find out who the gift is you, and that likely lines up with your purpose. And then how you show up in that is doing things like this, becoming a better version of you each day, even just 1%. One of my biggest goals is to really clean up all my back end things and to create a system. I would love to know a little more of structure you set up for yourself. And if you're willing to share, that's where I feel I struggle most as an entrepreneur. It's great. I mean, we have, as entrepreneurs, we are our strongest asset. Nobody can copy us, right? Nobody can be us. But systems are totally a support to our vision, to what we want to be as a business and things like that. So that morning routine sets me up for the day, and I see it as a total business win for the day, is setting up myself for that. But all the systems, the underlying pieces, especially for creative entrepreneurs, are totally needed to keep us on track. This is a huge part of it. I'm going to make sure that you get this, but having just a to-do list, that alone will keep the ball moving for you. I'm a big fan of like time blocking. I've been newer to that. On a good day, I haven't been able to do it lately. I will get back to it though. When I have projects, the biggest project, I spend 90 minutes a day on it. It's the first 90 minutes of my work day. So I do 90 minutes, then I take 10 minutes off, and then I get back to a 60-minute block, take 10 minutes off, and you shut everything off during those time blocks. So 90, 10, 60, 10, 60, 10, however many of those I have in it for the day. And of course, I have video, live chats, education, all those types of things. I build that into the day as well. But it's about focus, and it's hard to get focus with all of our devices and all the everything's chirping at us like, look at me, just shut all that stuff down, focus on the one thing. So I hope that helps a little bit with the system. I go through spurts of struggling and surviving. As a mother of 3, I feel more obligated to care for them and to help them navigate their schoolwork. I then go through a couple of days of education and watching lives like this. My husband is very regimented and follows his daily planner religiously. I feel like I have to keep the house moving and organized with the kids being home now all the time. I know I'm needed in so many ways, but I fail to let some of that go and focus on taking care of myself and my business. That is so powerful. I'm just going through here to see who said that. Candace, thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate that. There's a lot here, and I'm gonna just go through it. We're about 30 minutes into the call. I kind of allotted like an hour. I know that can be a long time, but I love these comments, and I'm willing to stay on here if you are. You're a mother of 3. I feel more obligated to care for them and to help them navigate their schoolwork. That is a big sentence right there. You feel more obligated to care for them. It is our job as parents to take care of them, right? But what do they say on the plane when if they hit, like if things are going bad? They walk us through this thing. I travel a ton, so I have this thing nearly memorized. But they say, if things go south and we're struggling, the air masks are going to drop. What do they say? And why do they say it? They say, put the mask on yourself. because if you don't have oxygen, you can't help us. As a mother of 3, thank you for what you do. My wife is a mother of 3, and I am a father of 3. And I'm reading between the lines a little bit, so forgive me if I'm off. But there was a season in my life, this is what I resonate with, and this is probably why I'm reading through the lines a little bit, where I was not, I was not the parent. I was like just chasing the one of 3 things. I was chasing, that's my dog. Welcome to my life right now. I was chasing money, and I was outpacing everything in my life. I was likely going to have a massive house, and it was going to be empty. I was not being a great father. I was not understanding my purpose. I was chasing money, and that was it. So I want you to know that it's okay to request more from your partner in this. And I don't know, I don't think your husband's a bad father or anything like that. I was, and so that's kind of what I'm reading here a little bit, mostly because of my personal stuff. Making a request is a gift to him, and it's a gift to you. Hey, I need help. Hey, I need some time to myself. It's great that he's regimented and has all of his things in order. You guys are 2 totally different personality types, as me and my wife are as well. I'm sticking to like a real strong plan right now. Jamie recognized yesterday as my wife that she didn't. Jamie Gordon's my wife, and she is a coach. She has a lot of calls that she's still doing. She's very busy because things are going crazy, and she has a lot of people reaching out to her and stuff like that. She's doing amazing with her business. But there was a season where I was very controlling, and she had become a doormat in some ways, and I hate that I was that controlling. And now I'm grateful that she makes requests. And I missed out on those years of being a father because of myself. It had nothing to do with, I'm not blaming my wife at all. And I wish I would have showed up more. But I would just encourage you to make some requests if you need things. Take time for yourself. Get that oxygen mask on you in the morning, so that you have what it takes so that you can serve those 3 kids, and have just something left for yourself at the end of the day, for your husband, for your time with him and things like that. I feel like I have to keep the house organized and moving, with the kids being home now all the time. Yeah, that is tough. Again, make requests if you need to. My cleaner texted us again today. She comes every other week. She didn't come 2 weeks ago. She's not coming tomorrow. And I was just like, I miss you because I would love more help around here. It's tough. I don't know how old your kids are. We've created a new schedule, a Corona schedule for the kids, and I'm really trying to not encourage them. Here's the rules. You get to help, and here's the things you get to do. So we sat down as a family. I would encourage you to do this almost no matter what age your kids are. Clearly, they have to understand you, but they understand this way earlier than I ever thought they did. Just sit down, have a family meeting, go around. And what we did was we had some reflective listening. So you had one person is going to all full body listen, means you face them and you make eye contact and you just listen to them, and then you reflect what you heard. One person does it with each person. So it's like I did it for Gavin. Gavin was reflective listening maybe to my wife, and my Noah was reflective listening to Haley, and Haley to whatever. But go around to be heard, to share. We cried that night. Some people didn't like hearing me cry because I've had to change things with the business, just doing really tough stuff. And I've had some tough conversations. Get real with each other, let each other in and know where you're at. To be known is my vision right now, but it is a vision that I hope to carry on, continue to do, because it's wonderful to be known, but it's scary too. I just want to encourage you with that. I hope that's helpful. Let's see. My office is an open space of our house that's connected to my toddlers and our room. My husband has a room with a door, it changes the time I get to focus. I do not have a door on my office. It is open right now. The window's open, and you can hear what's going on outside and stuff like that. Sometimes I got to shut that, and usually I don't need a door because the kids are at school. I have a co-working space that I go work from at times as well, and I get it. I can totally relate. I would go sit in my car. I would go and take over my husband's, your husband's office. My wife has said, "Hey, I'm taking your office," because hers is on the main floor. She has two glass doors with like hardwoods and a gap underneath, a little bit. So it's loud in there. And so when she's taking calls during the day and the kids are at school, I'm up here. No big deal. Now the kids are here. She's been in our bedroom. I've seen Ben Hartley go live from his guest room. I've seen Michaela go live from their guest room. It's just, we got to make it happen. We got to get creative and make it happen. Fight for yourself. If you hear one thing, I want you to know, take care of yourself. Having routines and all that stuff is stuff that we can build in each day. Don't try and get it perfect right out of the gate, but fight for yourself. Because if we are becoming the best version of us, we are better for those around us. I think I am truly to a place where I believe it takes one person to have a successful marriage. It's beautiful when two do, and I think it can have more power in that. But if you're working on yourself, it's amazing what happens around you. Being okay with what is, guarding yourself and taking the right measures for that as well. It gets to a point where they need to grow with you, or you outgrow them, and that's a tough season as well. But take care of yourself. Really fight for things like that. And even if it's like, hey, hubby, today I'm taking over your office. You get to have the one that is connected to the toddler's room and to our room, and it's loud. Try and deal with it. See what I got to deal with. I got some stuff to do. See you later. Make a request. Maybe not be as controlling as I just was. Struggling, keeping a routine, getting actual work done with all the distractions for free content, webinars, etc. Yeah. What I think you're saying here is like, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of noise. Figure out who you're listening to, what you're listening to, and weed out that stuff, find out good content out there. But yeah, focus is not an easy thing right now. So maybe just break it down into smaller times. Maybe it's not 90 minutes. Maybe it's like, hey, for 15 minutes, I'm turning it all off, putting a headset on, and I'm going to just get super focused on this one thing. Find the right people to follow. That's hard. I feel like there's a dating season for that. I found like my team that I follow, but then sometimes it gets to a point where it sounds like they're saying the same stuff, so I move on. 3 ways to measure ourselves: financially, why you exist, purpose, and the gift of you and how you exist, showing up as you. I'm not seeing the names, and I know somebody's texted me why. I just upgraded to the pro account for this and all that stuff, but I'll get it figured out. This has been so comforting. I feel like I've just walked into you're going to make me cry, Shannon. I feel like I've just walked into a virtual healing session. I've been struggling with family members, not really validating my struggles and fears in this, and sorting and sort of dismissing it. Yeah, like it sucks to not be heard. And I believe we deserve to be heard. And it's okay to say like, hey, what I need from you right now is for you to listen. My wife and I have learned, and we don't do this well all the time. Don't think like I'm like perfect. And I struggle all the time. I struggle a lot of times, but I have targets and things that I'm trying. I have measurements, so I even know more. I feel like when I'm off, and there's a lot of times where I'm off. Don't think I have it all together, but it's okay to make a request. And I would say something along the lines of this, to be able to be heard. What I need from you is this. You're making a request, and it is you're absolutely advocating for yourself when you do this. I need for you to hear me. What I don't need from you is to fix me or to act like what I'm feeling is not normal, is not reality, because for me it is. It makes me feel weak when you belittle me or when you dismiss me in that way. I'm feeling afraid, and this is why. I was watching the news and it said this. That freaks me out. I don't need you to fix it. I need you to hear that I am afraid. Right? I mean, it happens all the time. I've been in the church for a long time. The church does this even. I'm down in the hole. I'm down and out. I'm addicted, right? I dealt with addiction for a long time. Consider it pure joy to be going through trials. It's like, F you, buddy. That doesn't help me right now. Do not dismiss me. Do not shame me. What I need is to be heard. It sucks to deal with fear. It sucks to be addicted to something. It sucks to be where I'm at right now, and I feel kind of stuck. I don't need you to pull me out. I need you to hear that I'm in this hole. It sounds a bit direct, and I'm sorry if I've offended anybody. But I think as humans, it's like we want to fix each other. We want to like, there's so many things that we're like guarded with, and that I just want to be more open and be more known. And I don't want to be dismissed. So advocate for yourself. Be clear about what you want from that other person. And there's times where I say, maybe it's probably the other way around, to be honest. Jamie's like, what I need is for you to hear me and for you to hear where I'm at. I'm frustrated because of this, yada, yada, yada. And she says some stuff, and then I'm like, I can fix that. Have you seen the nail in the forehead YouTube video? It's an old one, but it's hilarious. She's like, they're sitting on a couch, and she kind of like turns to the side, and you can see she has a nail in her head. She's like, oh, I've had this headache for so long. And the guy's there, and he's like, it's because of she's like, I just want you to hear me. And he's like, okay. And there's literally this nail in her forehead. And she's like, man, it just like, I have this horrible pain in my head, and I just can't, I don't know why. And he's like, I really want to fix it, you know? But she goes, I just want you to hear me. And he's like, honey, it sounds like that nail in your forehead is it hurts, you know? And I'm so sorry that you feel that way. And she's like, oh, and it's hilarious. Go check it out. But it's like, we need to be heard, you know? Jamie, oh yeah, at Evolve this year, my wife was there. She had you guys do some of those these workthroughs that I'm referring to. Yep. My husband time blocks. Why can't I be more like him? Haha. It's because you're not him, and that's totally okay. What's funny is there's people that are like that time block with no issues. I'm not one of them. I struggle to get it done, but there's things that they want that you have as well. They're like, people that time block typically are like type A. They're like, there are certain numbers on the Enneagram and all this type of stuff. I'm not going to put too many people in a box, but it's like, they are like, I wish I was more fun. I wish I was more free-spirited. We want what others have. It is nice to have. I believe we all need rules. I believe regiment, discipline, things like this. You know, these like things that we can do each day. We need these guidelines in order to thrive sometimes. You know, our kids need it. We need it. Struggling with that too. I feel like there are so many distractions, and then also feeling oversaturated with news and things to do. Who said that? Anna, I totally hear you. And it's okay to struggle, right? You're replying to like Gustavo, who I love. Thanks for helping me with everything today, Gustavo. I appreciate you. There are a lot of distractions. But sister, here's the thing. You get to choose what you're distracted by. That is one thing you get to control. In the morning when I'm done with my Peloton, typically like in yoga, you raise your arms and you do your gratitude and stuff like that. I typically do something along the lines of this: take it or leave it. Be with my mind today. Help me to think sharply and to use my mind well, to be wise. Be with my eyes, protect them from distractions, from the things that I don't need to focus my eyes on. Be with my words and how I speak to people. And be with my heart and how I show up and want to love people. So take it or leave it. You get to choose what you're distracted by, and you get to choose the day. I'm going to turn off those distractions or not. I can guarantee you that my screen time is way up right now. I had it a little more limited. I'm spending a lot more time on here. A lot of time I'm responding to DMs and stuff like that. I use my Instagram as DMs. Or as my communication. Even I'm better at that than I am at email. But Um, Shaun, I think I got skipped, but it might be a lot. Let me see who was that. I'm going to go back up. I'm going to find it. Azaria. Hope that's how you say your name. I don't see your comment. Oh, yeah. I'm struggling with focus because we found out my mom across the country has stage 4. I'm so sorry. It's killing her lungs. I can't be there, but I want to work on my route from home to have some balance while personal life is pretty crazy. Azaria, I'm sorry. This is a time where we can't be close to loved ones. My friend's dad had surgery, had his esophagus removed from cancer, and he couldn't be there with them. That sounds absolutely terrible for your mom, for my friend's dad. I would hate to be in the hospital. I'm very needy. I don't get sick very often, but I get, what do they call that? Man flu, pretty bad. I'm not a good patient, but to not have somebody there is miserable. I hate that for you. And I'm so sorry. Do what you can to send your love. But thoughts, knowing that I'm being thought about is huge for me. Those types of things go a long way, even though we can't be there in person. I'm so sorry about that. I can't be there, but I want to work on my route from home to have some balance while personal life is pretty crazy. Yep. Focus is what you were referring to. But here's something that was taught to me a couple years ago here at Apex. It was at this actual Apex. My buddy wore his Apex, and I saw him have it on, so I put it on. This is like a kind of a creative men's getaway. There's like only 6 men in the whole photo industry anymore, it seems like. I'm just kidding. But we get away, and one of the things that was taught to me about balance. I don't believe in balance anymore. I do not have a balanced life. But what I do is I work on order or priority. So this might help you, Azaria. Think about it more of an order and a priority versus having a balanced life. If we're chasing a balanced life, I don't think it exists. But if I have things in order and those people around me know what my order and my priority is, it's going to help me a ton. I'm getting the priority kind of like is set. So if this thing is at the top and it's getting my attention, and then this, and then this, and then this, then things are in order. I prefer to go down that road versus a balanced life. So again, I'm so sorry that you can't be there, and I'll be thinking about your mom. I hope things go well. And the other side of that is like thoughts and prayers can be there for them. So hold on just a second. Gav, you're being way too loud, bud. I'm on a call. Thanks. So, we will be thinking about your mom and wishing the best, you know. I'm trying to learn. I didn't take it off mute. Again, Azaria, I'm so sorry about that. I'm also working personally on like trying to be okay with kind of like what is, understanding what mourning looks like. And a good version of that for me is, as well as, I don't know, that order and that priority, and what matters. The difference we're making in other people's lives is sometimes hard to measure versus the money and things like that. And trying to just find out the things that the relationships, like with my mom, like you have with your mom, and it matters, you know, and it takes priority. But sometimes work takes priority, right? Like there's so much to all this stuff. Let's see what else we got here. I'm coming up on 50 minutes. I'll hang with you guys for another 10. Yeah. We need to be sensitive to meet people in their pain, not dismiss them. And there's times where I'm going to be needing encouraged. But let us ask for it. Let us sit where we're at. Let the wildfire do its job and kind of rid those weeds, you know, and create that soil. You know, depression is a tough thing. Anxiety is a totally tough thing. And we want to fix it. Sometimes just being aware and knowing, being known is a total gift. I'm going to use that line with them because it's true. It sucks to feel belittled. And when no one in your family can relate to the stress of how it is to be self employed and have these worries right now, that's right. I mean, it is tough to own a business, right? And people are like, the typical things are like, oh, that's not a real job and all these things, it takes a lot to run a business and a lot of stress. Um, and just going into it, use that line. I want to be heard. I want you to know where I'm at. I want you to, this is what I need from you right now. That is a gift for them and for you. Something that I've shared before, but I'll share again. I'm not sure if I've shared it to Evolve or not. There was a season where my wife and I had hit a really, really rough patch, and things were going south. It was in 2010, and she had every right to be super upset with me. I had hurt her in some tough ways. And I got to a point where I felt like I needed something from her as well. She could have said no, but what I was asking for was just a little something so that I knew that we were okay that day. And so I made a request. It was in therapy. Thank God I had help with this. I just said, hey, in the morning when we get up and we're making breakfast for the kids, if you can just put your hand on my back as you go by, letting me know that we're okay just in that moment. That would do a lot for me. Now, I say that because the first time I did that and she responded and she walked by and put her hand on my back, what was my response? She only did that because I asked her to. So I brought that up in therapy. And my therapist, God bless Denise, she's amazing. She said, Shaun, here's the deal. You've asked her to love you in this way, and she regularly chooses to love you in different ways that may not connect with you as much, but you've asked her to love you in this way. So if you can truly see this, you have to understand, hopefully you get to a place where you can understand that she loves you more by doing what you've asked. It may not come natural to her, and it may feel like she just did it because you asked. So when you first ask for them to not belittle you, for them to understand your stresses, for them to hear you, they may not get it right. And it's okay to get upset. It's okay to say like, hey, remember, I need you to hear me. I don't need you to fix this. I just want you to know I'm frustrated. Can you hear that I'm frustrated and why? Can you do that for me? It's a big deal. They may not get it right at first. It may feel like they're just doing it because you asked, but with practice, it will get better. Order is more doable than finding balance. Just finding the right wording makes a big difference to shift my mindset. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. Who's leaving me? See you, Candace. It was wonderful having you on here and good seeing you. I want to leave you with something. Let me think what I want to leave you with. Let me know if you need the tools. You can find me at Shaun Austin, ShaunAustin on Instagram. My professional handle's Kissbooks. I'm on there, but I don't run that one. We have a team that runs that. DM me at Shaun Austin. If you didn't get these tools, they're in your email now. I know that the daily sheet came through, the Becoming Daily sheet, where it has today's mantra to be. If you need help with that, please reach out to me. The 5 and 5 is in there as well. It didn't work earlier, but I'm sure we'll get it fixed. If you need that, let me know. I can email it directly to you. I'm going to say the same thing again because this is what truly matters to me right now. Who are you becoming? Do you have a target and a vision of who you're becoming? It's beautiful when we have a target because the decisions that we make each day are either taking us towards that vision, towards that target, or away from it. If I want to be known as one of my visions, I either let people in or I don't. There's times where I don't let people in because it's not safe or I'm guarding myself. That is different than the people that I want to be known by and at what level I want to be known at. I really want you to know that you matter. You are enough, that you're a gift to so many people, that the voices in my head in the morning a lot of times tell me that I'm not. Today's the day they're going to find out that I'm not enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not fit enough. I'm not, fill in the blank. You've probably heard the voice. But I can promise you that you're here for a reason, that you have purpose, and there are people in your life that absolutely need you to show up. They need you to be the best version of you. Our kids right now, if you have kids, are looking to us for how to respond to things like what's going on. Our friends are, our partners are, the world is looking, and look at how it's responding. Go scroll through Facebook, don't get too caught up in it, and see what's out there. There's funny jokes. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of people that think they know how to respond to this thing. There are people that literally choose to fight about religion and politics, and I have never once seen somebody say, thank you so much for that post. I am now switching my political party. Thank you so much for screaming at me on social media. I'm going to get off my soapbox because I got off track. I'm sorry. What we need is people to become who they were made to be each day and share that, shine that light, pour into other people. Again, there are people that you have in your life that I will never be able to reach. And there are people in my life that you will never be able to reach. And they need us to show up and become a better version of us. We are this ship, right? A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Guess what? The sea is not smooth right now. It is scary. The waves are massive. This was like a rogue wave to the economy. And that's not to set fear in. That's just say, hey, check your boat, and we are in this together. I need you above deck to work on this with me so that you can help us shine a light and get through this storm. And the thing about it is, I know who I want to be on the other side of the storm. And I'm either heading towards that or away from that. That's my vision and my goal. And I have so much to learn. This life, this storm, Corona, life, loss, relationships, they're either happening to you or they're happening for you. And I believe this life can always happen for us. This life is happening for you. In a storm like this, if we're in a plane, the air masks are going to drop, please put the air mask on. Take care of yourself. Get up a little bit earlier. Go to bed a little bit earlier. Get your full night of sleep. Get up early, have a morning routine, get yourself set up for the battle that today holds. Take care of yourself, friends, please. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for hanging with me. Please reach out. I'll go through some of these comments as well. Reach out to me directly. I love conversation. The best way is DMing me on social at Shaun Austin, ShaunAustin. I'm on Facebook a lot as well, but Instagram is my platform. So I really appreciate you being on here, and I do hope that the light in me reflects into you and allows you to start to see your things. I just want to reflect back and say, like, this is how I'm experiencing you, and this is what we need from you. We need you to become who you're made to be. Please show up. It's a beautiful thing. It's scary. It's vulnerable. To be known is an absolute gift, but it's scary. But I would literally have it no other way. It's the harder path. But to go back to basic, to go back to not being seen, to go back to a fake version of me, it's not worth it. I promise you that. Let's get breathless. Let's do the work right now where we feel like we run out of air, and that creates our lungs to be better, because if we just start to give up, it's not who we were meant to be. I can promise you that. Become who you were made to be. It is a gift to you. It is a gift to everyone around you. This life is crazy, but it's beautiful. It's amazing. And you are beautiful and you are amazing. You have it in you. Everyone does. But we need the unique version of you becoming the best, most beautiful version of yourself. We need it. Please lean into that. I love you guys. This was fun. Totally different way of me doing this. I am literally right at an hour. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.